Hey, it's been a while.
You problem solver with a fucking rolling dice.
So, it's a very low quality video. Apologies. I have been done with this book for like a month and I just haven't made this video because I've been busy doing other stuff and procrastinating. Anyway, so this will be a review slash me talking about, I forgot the title. Fable by Chanda Hahn, which is the third book in the Unenchanted series. Also, I had this book for a while, but I got the second copy. Which, if you haven't seen my last review video, it was on this book, and I finally got a physical copy of it. Working on getting the other 3, I think there's 5 books. Anyway, so this one, okay, so in this one, the pace starts to pick up a little bit, because if you remember at the end of the other one, which if you haven't read the book or seen the video, you probably aren't going to understand this, but if you haven't read Fairest or seen reviews on it or whatever, at the end of that one we met Tegu. Yeah, I'm going to call him Tegu. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It might be Tiago, but that sounds weird, so I'm gonna call him Tegu. Or Tigu? Tigu? You might hear me switch between those two. Anyway, yeah, I'm eating some gems. I love some gems. Anyway, so yeah, in this one, it gets heavy. Like, it gets heavy because Mina actually, like, evolves, I guess, and she gets into some danger in this book too, and she's actually forced to go to the Fade Plane. Like, we get to see the Fade Plane, and there's like a little journey of her in the Fade Plane, and she like meets some friends along the way. We also get to see the Fey Royal Castle, which is very interesting. And yeah, I don't have a lot of notes. I kind of stopped taking notes, in case you couldn't tell. That's like the spoiler-free review. No, if you haven't picked it up or seen the story or heard it, I think it's on audiobook too. Do that. Now for all my thoughts on what actually, like, detail in the books. First time I read the Fade Plane, I was like, wow. Okay, I'm really in love with this idea. Also, how she gets there, like, Jared really messed up. Because now she's there by herself. And, oh, in this one, I've also finding out about the Fairy Godmother Guild, I love that. Like, I love that it's like a whole guild. And, like, where it is so fun. And that Phoenix, though, I can't believe when her brother dies, I was so tripped. I was like, oh my gosh. Her mom totally blames her for this. And I mean, it's like low-key her fault. Because she wasn't paying attention, but like, that sucks. That sucks so hard. Oh my gosh. But their new house, in my head, it is such a nice house. Like, even though it's all, like, weird with all the different decade stuff, it's such a nice house. Oh, and then okay. But the date, like quadruple date, that was amazing. The fact that she was actually like, fine. And then, like, the dude's, like, not even really interested in her. It was, like, a whole setup. I was like, ah. And then, like, ooh, with the whole theater thing, and it basically like just gets like torn apart. But one of my favorite parts is when she's talking to Tegu through the journal, and they're just like going back and forth, and she's like, I can see him smiling right now, And I think there's something that she's like, is he flirting with me right now? And I was like, and then she just like talks to Jared, and he's like, wow, how are you doing this right now? And she's like, don't worry about it, come pick me up. And then Brody just feels so bad, and she's like, no, don't worry about it, my dude. Do not worry about it. It's not that big a deal. But then the Fae plane, really interesting. Like when she almost dies, like I think she has the most growth in this book. Like so much happens. Like her brother's gone. Well, first she thinks her brother's dead and she thinks it's her fault. Then she finds out her brother's not dead and she has to go get him. Then she gets closer to Jared, and then she gets stranded in an unknown plane of existence, completely different rules, almost dies multiple times, and she still manages to make friends. And then when she gets stranded in the cave, and she just like, all right, I'm gonna have to find my own way out of here. I'm just have to figure this out. It's amazing. It's amazing. And then Nyx, he's like, you killed her. That was like my first and only love, and you killed her. And like I know it's probably better this way, but like you killed her. And she's like, yeah. And then with his mom, oh my gosh, when they finally get in, and she like hunts him down, and like he kills his mom, like he's like so destroyed by it, which makes so much sense because he's just like, this sucks. And I'm like, this does suck. I mean, it's just like I know this sucks, but I have to go now before I die. And just the whole scene in the castle was like bonkers. Bonkers. Oh, but then when Jared goes to go get her, he's like, of course I came for you. And then he dies. Well, he's dying. And then he doesn't die. He merges. That threw me. I did not see that coming the first time I read it. Did not see that coming at all. Oh my gosh. I was like, no way. No way. And then she has to deal with it. And then the Fae Royals are trying to deal with it because they're just like, what did you do? And she's just like, I just killed Jared. And then like Nyx is dead. And it's just like, she's like, I got my brother back though. And her brother's the only like level-headed cool one in that moment. He's just like, no, we are taking this dude. Like, we are taking him with us. I don't care if he's dead. Like, we are taking him with us. I think the ending was kind of nice, though. It was like a bittersweet ending, because, you know, Jared's not there. But, you know, like, Nyx is still around. Everything's, like, been reset. Nyx isn't with Nan anymore, even though at this point, the first time I was reading it, I was like, you know what? I totally ship them. Like, they deserve to be together, honestly. I just didn't, like, see Brody with Mina anymore. But, yeah. At least you saved Nyx. And, like, Nyx is, like, super happy. And he's, like, totally human. But, you know, like, he doesn't have to get stuck with the curse anymore. You know, like, he can live his life and not have to kill anybody. And I think that's amazing. Yeah. That's all. Yeah, that's all I got. Bye.